You know, I would love to imagine that this is another situation where 4 degrees Celsius is saying all this bullshit, but Fares once again has earplugs, so she doesn't even hear his words. And it's like, what did you just say? Okay, well, never mind. Let's go, Rintaro.
そして王座を返還しやがれ。そこまでしたらやらせ行為については明星に誓って許してやるよ。
そうだそうだ、優勝を辞退しろ。てか二度とライネットアクセスバトラーズに関わるな。ライネッターを引退しろブス。
And jeers fly from the surrounding virus. None of the onlookers approach. I guess they don't want to get involved. What a farce. How long do we have to listen to this?
行くぞ、フェイリス。
I grab Fares' wrist and force our way through the surrounding virus. Yeah, Jesus Christ, we don't have time for this. As we run from the place, I look back and see.
待ちやがれ。
Really? 4 degrees Celsius and his group are chasing after us. Now, all we can do is run. Oh! What is that? Ooh. Looks like we have another choice, folks. Okay, well, either this is gonna get us on, like, on a different path, or we're just gonna go forward with a common route. Well, either way, I'm gonna respond.
もしもし。僕だけど。なんだ、今取り組み中だから。
I guess that was an icon that tells us that, oh, you may be on a branching, you may have a branching point right over here. Which, from what I've been told, it doesn't really appear the first time when we have the possibility of getting like an ending. For example, at that point when we tried to send a D-mail or time leap to get the Suzuha's ending. We didn't get that at the beginning because we didn't get like an ending. But now that we got an ending, that icon is gonna pop up, like, for future branching points.
オカリンってまだ会場にいる？いない。フェイリスタンは見てないよな。実は炎上中で。炎上？何が？
What do you mean on fire?
フェイリスタンのブログとか、フェイリスタンのファンサイトとかが。
You fucking bastard. I was thinking for a second that the future gadget lab is on fire for some reason. Damn, the viral attackers must be flooding the net with false accusations. Those scumbags.
切るぞ。
I press the end call button and run even faster. Keep running. Just keep running. While gasping for oxygen, I pull Fares by the hand and run faster. We zigzag through the streets of Akiba until we loop back to UPX. Fares' home is right next door. We should have gone there first. My lungs are on fire. My legs are aching. Fares tugs at my sleeve, stopping me. I look at where she's pointing, and there I see several unsavory-looking young men clad in black leather loitering near the apartment building's entrance. Oh my god, you really... Damn, they got here first? Fares, please tell me that you have some bodyguards? I mean, you do have bodyguards, right?
これじゃ中に入るのは無理そうにゃ。
とにかく離れよう。
We try to cut through Yodobashi and head to Showadori, but get caught en route.
いやがったぞ。メーリングリストで情報を流せ。
Damn, how many of them are there? All we can do is turn back. How many of these viral, like, bullshitters are there? Like, how big is the viral attackers? Are they part of the company of 300 or something like that? We need to find somewhere we can rest. the lab. We can manage something if we escape there. We need to get there somehow. But there are virals loitering around the lab. There's no way we can get past them. We end up seeking refuge in the ramen shop behind the lab. God damn it. I mean, I kind of wish that we gained the advantage of those 2-day cycles. Because right now, Rintaro is still, like, physically weak. The ramen shop behind the lab. On another roll line, this was May Queen plus Nyan at the power of 2, where Fires and Mayuri worked as mates.
どうしてこんなところで立ち止まるにゃ？早く逃げなきゃ。
May Queen's second floor now seems to be the storehouse for the ramen shop downstairs. Actually, that might be the perfect place to hide. I take Fires' hand and run up the stairs. Okay, in the empty room are piles of what seems to be bags of flour. Fires and I hide behind one such pile. I just hope nobody saw us coming in.
とにかくここで奴らが諦めるのを待とう。
I take out my phone and open the composed mail screen. I send Daro an SOS. Fires and I are hiding above Ramen Tasaburo. It's mostly empty with some sacks of wheat flour. Nothing that looks useful as a weapon, and nothing big enough to hide behind. The viral attackers are chasing us, and I don't think they can be reasoned with. Normally I'd have no trouble taking on all of them, but I can't use all my strength, my full strength with Fires nearby. Sure, why not? Just sprinkle in some Chinyubyo in there in that text. Call us a taxi, pronto! I sent the email. It's hot as hell in here. The running has made me thirsty.
ここにメイクインがあれば冷房も効いていて飲み物も出してもらえるのにな。
にゃ？
あ、いや。
I just said the first thing that came to mind. But Fires looks at me strangely.
なんで京馬はここに開く予定だったメイド喫茶の名前を知ってるにゃ？
Again, time travel.
でもそっか、ホームページに少しの間だけオープン告知とメイドさん募集要項を載せたことあったにゃ。今日もそれを見たのかにゃ？
開く予定だったのか。
フェイリスが企画して会議にも通してほとんど決まりかけてた話なのにゃ。でも最終的にパパにダメって言われて企画がなくなっちゃったにゃ。はあ、パパもとんだわからずやだにゃ。フェイリスに店を任せてくれてれば、はにゃーなコスチュームとキュンキュンなメイドさんたちを集めて日本一のメイド喫茶になってたのにゃ。
Well, I have no doubt about that.
中野や池袋のお客さんを秋葉に引っ張ってこられたのに、惜しいことをしたのにゃ。
The Akihabara I know cater to fans of games, anime, and moe culture. The current Akihabara is still the electric town of old. This used to be the maid cafe, May Queen plus Nyan at the power of 2. But now it's a ramen shop. And if I remember correctly, Fires wasn't disattached to right net access battlers on the previous roll line.
フェイリス。いや、秋葉ルミホ。
はにゃ？
お前は秋葉の後継ぎ娘で秋葉原の都市開発計画の会議なんかにも出ているんだよな。
にゃ、出てないにゃ。
出てない？だって前にそう言って。
Did she say that before the roll line changed?
会議にはパパが出てるにゃ。なのになんでフェイリスが出なきゃいけないのにゃ。
逆になんでお前は会議に出ていたんだ。
だから出てないって言ってるにゃ。
I mean, I guess since in the previous roll lines, when she was running the May Queen plus Nyana the Power 2 that propelled her forward towards even participating in the conferences too. But since she doesn't have like a maid cafe like this in this, and she's just doing like the Rhinet stuff, she is no longer a part of that. That's right. It makes no sense for a high school girl to participate in development conferences, much less be the mastermind behind the moification of Akiba. Moe shops began to spring up around 2002, didn't they? Back then, Faris was still 9 years old. Could this be a clue to the contents of Faris' email?
フェイリスのパパさんはレトロ PC の愛好家なんだよな。
その通りにゃ。あ、そういえばまだ IBN5100 は見つけてないにゃ。
ちなみにパパさんがレトロ PC を手放すようなことってあるのか？
On another roll line, Faris' dad donated the IBN 5100 to Yanabayashi Shrine. Oh, wait, hold on a second. So it was Faris' dad? Where did we learn that? Or was it Faris who did that?
それはないにゃ。パパは自分が集めた PC はすべて愛してるにゃ。それを手放すなんてとんでもないのにゃ。
Then why did he donate the IBN 5100?
フェイリスはレトロ PC は持っていないのか？
パパの趣味はさっぱりにゃ。フェイリスはコスプレとかアニメとか可愛いものが好きなのにゃ。
The reason the Moe shops disappeared was because Faris didn't participate in the city development conferences. I guess that's what the dilemma was about.
もし仮にお前が都市開発計画に子供の頃からずっと参加していたとして。
そうしたら秋葉の町に萌えショップをたくさん誘致しようと思ってるにゃ。コミマを見ればわかる通りオタクパワーはすごいのにゃ。きっと秋葉は今以上に人がたくさん訪れるはずにゃ。
それはいいとして、都市開発計画にずっと参加していたお前がもしもう参加したくないと思ったとして、それを過去の自分にどうやってやめさせると思う？
それは何の心理テストにゃ？
単なる例え話だ。
Faris ponders this for a while.
劇的なのがいいにゃ。
何？
ドラマみたいな展開にゃ。フェイリスはそういうのは結構信じちゃうタイプにゃ。これはきっとパパからの遺伝だと思うにゃ。
Really?
だから例えばフェイリスが誘拐されるとか。
Suddenly, Faris falls silent. It's a dark room. I can't read her expression.
誘拐？
フェイリス？
What's wrong? Faris suddenly clutches her head.
頭痛いにゃ。ねえ京馬。フェイリスはこの倉庫に来てから変な気分なのにゃ。小さい頃に一度来たことあるだけなのに。すごく見慣れてる景色に思えてくるにゃ。ここいつも歩き回ってたような感覚があるにゃ。
Well, what does this mean? Is she messing with me again? Nah, this feels too real. Her face lights up, and then she grabs my arm.
思い出したにゃ。
何を？
思い出したにゃ。
The force of her declaration stifles my response.
メイクインにゃんにゃ。京馬もタルニャンの常連さんだったにゃ。それにマユシーは一緒に働いてたにゃ。
Go on.
本当に思い出したのか？
Faris nods.
京馬たちがお店でタイムマシンのお話ししてたことも IBN5100 を探す交換条件としてタイムマシンを使いたいってお願いしたことも、あとは 時間を川の流れに例えるのおかしいって京馬とダルニャンを論破したこととか、
Oh.
ラボメンになるために血の盟約を結んだこととか。
Huh. I'd almost forgotten those things myself. Okay, well, it's very unlikely that she is humoring us about this or lying about this. She is really telling the truth. There's no way that she would make this stuff up herself. And like all that stuff is true, so you... Fires, do you really have access into other roll lines? Do you have reading Steiner as well?
D メールは D メールの内容は思い出したのか？
Fires lets out a sigh. The smile suddenly disappears. Don't tell me that's all she remembers. Or was she tricking me again? I don't see that being a trick. Like, if that's the case, that would be quite a trick she pulling on us. With that information that nobody would know except for the Intaro.
思い出したけど、これは取り消さなきゃいけないって京馬言ったかにゃ。
そうだ。フェイリスの D メールによって改変された過去を元に戻してやらないと。
Fires shakes her head violently and presses her body against me again. Yeah, great. Well, the thing is, she doesn't know, like, the consequences of what this all means, why the entire is doing this. Not only does she apparently remember, but not only did she not tell us, but she's not going to tell us because of whatever it is that was necessary. I mean, that... because of what she wanted with that email. She's gonna go back to being very hesitant in telling us like anything from now on. Great. We're alone in this dim storehouse. I feel her hot breath against my cheek. There's no one here to see us. We are safe. I feel myself getting excited by her proximity. Of course you do. No. You need to keep your cool, man. Come on.
元に戻すなんてできないにゃ。
Okay, why?
聞いてくれ、フェイリス。これにはマユリの命がかかってるんだ。
マユシーの
世界線のズレを元に戻して、俺が IBN5100 を手に入れないとマユリが死ぬ。バカみたいに聞こえるかもしれないけど、それが事実なんだ。
And you cannot say that we are lying, because you can read Rintaro's face. You should tell that he's telling the truth.
だから頼む。以前送った D メールを取り消すために、もう一度 D メールを。
フェイリスが D メールで叶えた願いは。
Fares cuts in, as if to silence me. Her eyes are wet, reflecting the dim light.
フェイリスが叶えたのは10年前に死んだパパを生き返らせることにゃ。
Eh? I'm sorry, what? What?
もっと簡単に言うと、パパが死んだ過去を死なないように変えたのにゃ。
You mean that kind-looking man, her father, died 10 years ago? That's consistent with everything now that I think about it. Fares really has remembered her email. We've seen her father post email change, right? Yeah, I think so. It wasn't before, or rather after. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go into my memory bank, aka search my folders right over here, and see. Yeah, we've seen her father like post the email change, but rather after, so I guess that's consistent. At least in order to figure it out, like, I would have to go back pre-Demio to see the dialogue and see if there are like signs that the father was actually alive or not. I'm just trying to see if Fires is pulling our leg right over here or not. And then another result, all I have to do is send a cancellation email. It's not so simple. I need to cancel the email that prevented father's death 10 years ago. Isn't that the same as killing him again? Oh boy. I hear the door open and quickly cover Fires' mouth with my hand.
本当にこんなところにフェイリスが隠れてるのか？
それらしい二人組が入ってくのが見えたんだよ。
Crap. Someone saw us? We need to do something. They call their friends, we're done for. Really? Stupid decisions. Assistant?
どこだ？
やっぱここにいたな、フェイリス。
もしもし。
岡部、聞こえる？タクシーは呼んだけど、もうちょっとだけ時間がかかる。
クリス。
追っ手にバレた。目の前にいる。
おい、出てこい！隠れても無駄だぞ、俺！
そう。それなら脱出方法をレクチャーする。場所はさっきのところから移動してないんだよな。
The men are approaching our hiding spot, but because the room is dark, it seems they can't tell where we are. I listen carefully to Chris's voice.
その部屋にある小麦粉をばらまいて脱出しろ。OK?
Scatter a flower.
あとは照明をスイッチオン。
Now I get it.
了解した。オーバ
ー。Then I see the light reflect off of something. One of the men has a butterfly knife. He opens the blade with a flourish. I quickly rip open a nearby wheat flour sack and toss its contents into the air, alright? The scattered white powder shines in the sunlight through the window.
うわ、なんだこれ。なんも見えねえ。
Slipping past the disoriented men, I carry Fires towards the exit. Right next to the exit, I see the light switch. I push Fires out first, then flip the switch right before shutting the door. Right as we get out. Sound like firecrackers resounds from the other side of the door. A dust explosion. I've seen the same trick used by guys like MacDiver and Mr. Cheaton. Cheaton? Fictional. A popular Japanese comic that ran from 1988 to 1994. Follows the activities of the titular protagonist, who is an archaeologist, survival instructor, and an insurance investigator. Okay. That should distract them long enough for us to escape. I swear to God, I thought that was I thought that was gunshots. Fires coughs, shaking wheat flour off of her clothes and hair. But there's no time to spare. The taxi still isn't here. There's no way we can wait for it. We need to leave here now. However,
そうはいかねえぞ。取り囲んじまえ。
crap. We were headed for the lab and got ambushed. Soon, Fires and I are surrounded by men with the fires of hatred burning in their eyes.
いや、もう逃げられないぜ。
The girl parts down the middle, and 4 degrees Celsius steps forward, wearing a hat.
一つ教えてやる。てめえらは俺のヤバすぎる黒のオーラの前から逃れられねえ。
A shield fires one about me. 4 degrees cracks his knuckles and smiles.
俺はいつだって体制に逆らってきた。今回も俺のダテ割るストーリーは完全勝利で終わるのさ。
よせ。この俺に手を出すな。
The only thing I can do to stop faltering is to go into whole Kyoma mode.
このままだと俺の右腕が暴走を。
シーンの最前線に立つのは常に一人。その一人とは黒い羽を羽ばたかせたクジャク。
沈まれ、俺の右腕。ダメだ、封印が解かれてしまう。お前たち早く逃げろ。でないと本当に命を落とすぞ。
It would be nice if we actually had like some firecrackers with us, now that I'm thinking about it. Like once Rintaro was doing this act right over here, he would sneakily throw out like firecrackers to make the power of the arm more believable.
クレイジーな舞でてめえをエレガントに沈めてやるぜ。漆黒に選ばれるのはこの俺だ。
ダメだ、右手がやめてくれ。俺はもう殺したくないんだ。
ってこいつ一体何なんだ。
Something strikes the top of my head. One of the vows threw a can at me.
シード騙されんな。そいつは典型的な中二病なだけだ。
Ah, damn it. Let's not forget, there are a bunch of card game fanatics. They are like chronically online 24/7. So they would know about this.
いや、お前らが言うな。
構わねえから叩っちまうぜ。
そこまで言うなら覚悟しろ。俺は右腕の封印を。
Before I can finish, 4 degrees Celsius kicks me in the solar plexus. He grabs the top of my head and knees me repeatedly. Finally, he lets go of my hair. I start coughing as soon as I hit the ground. Next, 4 degrees Celsius lays into me with heavy kicks to the head and body. I raise my arms to protect my face.
言ったろ、俺に触れるなってな。冷たすぎる氷はやけどを。
だからそれはやけどではなく凍傷だ、バカが。
こんな。
He starts stomping on me with his booted heels. All I can feel is pain. I bend in all thought and wait for the storm to pass.
うるせえ。指図するなよ。俺に指図できるのはガイアのささやきだけだぜ。
4 degrees Celsius grabs my thumb in both hands. Then he starts to twist. I hear a sound. A car's exhaust. The honking of a horn. A limousine barrels into the alleyway at terrific speed. Everyone screams and scatters to avoid it. The smell of burnt rubber, the tire tracks on the asphalt. The limousine stops right in front of my fallen body. The back door opens.
乗りなさい。
But I can't even stand up. There's no strength in my body left. My vision's blurry too. Slender arms wrap around my body, pulling me towards the car. The soft scent of citrus tickles my nose. I let her help me into the limousine.
くそ、待て。
The door shuts, cutting off his shouting. The car speeds off like a bullet. Thank the Lord. There's a softness under my head. We are inside the limousine. My head is resting on Faris' lap. Every inch of my body feels like it's on fire. Well, thank the Lord that the father came in for the rescue. Now, thinking about the father and the conversation that Rintaro had with Faris before they got caught, before they were found, I guess it makes sense. What with her saying that her father died 10 years ago in the other role line. That would mean that, yeah, without the head of the family, then Faris herself would have had to take the mantle of the family and take over the business to a point where she would become to be a part of the board. At that point, it isn't that her father had let her in and be a part of the board together. She herself took the reins. And I guess in that sense, because of that, Akiba got moified. And not only that, I guess it makes sense in a way that Faris herself would bring in the IBN to Yanabayashi Shrine. She was donating and selling all of her father's devices after his death to make money, more than likely, and not like any of that stuff was necessary anymore. The business would fail on the electronic side. So yeah, that would be a reason why Faris herself would donate to Yanabayashi Shrine. Not like she had much of a use for it. And at the same time, there's a terrible cold in my bones. I can barely hear. My ears are ringing. I guess in that sense, now that I'm thinking about it, if the father is still alive in this, that would imply that the IBN is still in her father's hands. Well, hopefully. But we're still gonna have to... Well, technically, if we need the IBN in this, then we don't need to send the IBN. That is, if her father still has it. But if she doesn't, then I guess we won't have much of a choice but to send the demo. If the father doesn't have it. The urge to vomit has receded, at least. It really messed me up. According to Faris' dad, he was racing to UPX to congratulate Faris when he saw us. Unfortunate coincidence, indeed. Is this also the choice of Steins Gate?
君にはお礼を言わねばならないね、岡部君。娘を守ってくれてありがとう。
守るだなんて。そんな。
I am no hero. If I had the strength, I would prostrate myself right now before this man.
何もできませんでしたよ。俺は。全く情けないです。
とんでもない。君は娘の命の恩人だよ。
Word of advice. Faris' father. Let her have 3 bodyguards with her, at all times. And this for a while. He shakes my hand firmly in gratitude.
パパったら大事なお仕事があるんだから無理しなくていいって言ったのににゃ。
Faris looks happy as she says that. However, I recall what Faris told me in the ramen shop.
フェイリスが叶えたのは10年前に死んだパパを生き返らせることにゃ。
If that's true, then to return to the original role line, I have to erase her father. To kill him, essentially. So, here's the thing. This is how I view things. This definitely feels like a double-edged sword right over here when it comes to this situation, in the sense that, on one hand, how could we tell Faris that we would do such a thing where we would kill her father? I mean, how could we? How could we do such a thing? and for her to even accept such a thing. On the other hand, I'm going back to that whole idea about how even if we were to send a D-mail, it's not as if the forest of this road line, or like this road line particular, would change or anything like that, but rather she's gonna continue to live her life with her father even if we send that D-mail. It's mostly that a different road line's forest is gonna have their father die. In that sense, it's not like this forest would have anything to worry. At least that's the way I view it. Unless we're talking about a road line reconstruction kind of thing, in which case, nah. There is some leg for that argument that Forrest would not want that, because it would change her, like in this road line. And there was like a third point that I was thinking of, but I'm forgetting right now. Yeah, like the third point is, from Rintaro's perspective, even if I was talking about the first 2 points on whether this forest of this road line is going to be affected or not, or like a different road line's forest is going to be affected, it still stands that at the end of the day, Rintaro is going to have to do it, because he is going to be a part of the next road line / current line, road line, or whatever, where the father is going to die by his hands. So if it is necessary in order to get the IBN, Rintaro is going to be affected by this, because he's literally going to be killing somebody here.
私はルミホとの約束は何があっても守るよ。昔そう決めたんだからね。
パパ、ありがとね。
Unless we are to find a way to change it so that... I mean, I'm still hoping that maybe we can ask Faris' father for the IBN. If not, then we can keep it so that we still save Faris' father. We keep him alive, but also send an email telling Faris' father, hey, how about you donate IBN to the Yanabayashi Shrine, or keep it with you for like 10 years, because it is very important. Best of both worlds, maybe? The limousine soon reaches Faris' home.
ほう、IBN5100 か。
Yes.
そうです。あなたは熱心なレトロ PC 収集家とかねてより聞いていました。何かご存知ではありませんか？
I am eating dinner at Faris' apartment. Oh, well. Feels like we haven't eaten something like this, like something luxurious, delicious, in quite a while. After this adventure, Faris' father was extremely grateful to me and invited me up, because I assumed that he's offering us something really, really good here. I mean, it's a rich family after all. I would have been okay with just borrowing the shower, but he even prepared a change of clothes for me. He even told me I could stay since it's still too dangerous to go outside. During the meal, I tried asking about the IBM 5100, ignoring the pain I still feel throughout my body.
君のような若者が IBN5100 を知っているとは珍しいね。
Tell me about it, but we've learned quite a lot. He smiles when I bring up his hobby of collecting old PCs.
確かに私も持っていたよ。今は手放してしまったが。
Yeah. Lucky us.
手放した？
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that easy. Alright, well, it still stands. Maybe we can send a email in the past that normally... I mean, we already have like the whole father surviving covered up, so we only have to do is to send an email to the past where we would have you keep the IBN no matter what. But knowing the story, I doubt that's gonna be something that can happen. And if anything, if we are to go with what we were talking about before about the changes in the divergence of, in the number divergence, when we kept making D-mails and sending them in the past, at least the more important ones, the number kept decreasing. But the last time that I sent, which was basically reversing the actions of the previous D-mail, it increased. So I get the feeling that we need to send like a specific D-mail that is the opposite of what we sent before in order to increase the divergence number. So it's either we send a D-mail telling him, hey, keep your IBN, or we basically send a D-mail that would make Faris' father die, which has a higher chance of increasing the divergence number. We don't know if... I mean, we don't even know if that's going to be the case or not. It's just, for right now, the evidence slash the samples are not concrete yet until we do more of these reverse D-mails to see if it actually increases the divergence number or not. But there are higher chances that reversing the reverse D-mail would increase it rather than telling him to keep the IBN.
Ah, やむにやまれぬ事情でね。
I mean, technically, we could... I mean, we can try. We can see if telling him to keep the IBN would increase the number. I mean, why not? He glances at his daughter. Faris keeps eating her meal silently.
柳林神社に奉納したのですか？
奉納？いや、違うよ。
No. All the strength drains from my body. Were my efforts for nothing?
私に IBN5100 を託してくれた橋田さんには申し訳ないことをしてしまったと思っている。
Oh. Suzuha?
橋田って、橋田鈴ですか？
Ah, I see. So, I was right in that Suzuha had something to do with this, but it was with an extra step. All this time I was thinking, because I get the thing that, like, I think, like in the early parts, and I had it, I guess, confirmed by some of you guys on Discord, that apparently there was a detail that said that either Faris or Faris' father donated the IBN to Yanabayashi Shrine in like the earlier parts, and I kind of forgot about that detail. And it was basically confirmed right over here that, yeah, in this, well, not in this world line, but in the other world lines where the father died, she would donate the IBN to Yanabayashi Shrine because the father died and she no longer needed that. But in this case... Wait, hold on a second. All the strength... I don't think Suza entrusted the IBN to me. Could ever forgive me for what I did. Okay, so... She gave it to you. Could it be a case where in the previous role lines the father died and at some point Faris has learned that that sending the IBN to Yanabayashi Shrine is something that not only the father wanted but also Suzuha wanted, or at least the father wanted, because he wanted to do that. He wanted Faris to send the IBN to Yanabayashi Shrine as one of his last dying wishes because of Suzuha. But then, in that case, where is it right now? Faris is dead, nods. Suzuha's pseudonym. My pulse rises instantly upon hearing that name. Either way, I guess this is with an extra step, because I guess I forgot some details, and I was always thinking that it was Suzuha herself who sent the IBN to Yanabayashi Shrine because of her mission from 1975 onwards. But no. it is through the Fires' family that it was sent to Yanabayashi. She did it. She found an IBM, which I guess it makes sense. In this, she brought it to Akiba. She completed her mission. Tears well up in my eyes. I bite them back.
昔の話になるがね、まだ私の会社が今ほど大きくない頃の話だ。ルミホが誘拐されたんだ。犯人はとんでもない額の身代金を要求してきてね。
Oh my god. Okay, so I guess that explains the disappearance of the IBN in this. That you had to exchange your IBN for your daughter in this. Damn it.
あるいは会社を抵当に入れればなんとかなったかもしれない。そんな時、渡りに船とばかりに IBN5100 を高額で買い取りたいという人物が現れてね。それを売り渡すことでルミホを助けるための身代金を用意することができたんだよ。
I see. I guess that explains it. Oh my god. So, I guess in that sense, Suzuha actually saved Farias in this exchange. Wow. Okay, so that was what Suzuha did. She collected a lot of money to buy the IBN, which in turn would allow Farias' dad to save her daughter. Wait, but then...
パパ、その話はやめるにゃ。
For some reason, Farias' face turns red with embarrassment. If I had to say, her dad seems really happy to tell this story. Not something you'd expect from a kidnapping story.
その歌相手というのは
フランスの実業家だね。今でも連絡は取れると思う。なんだったら教えようか。
Or wait, hold on a second. I think I'm mistaking something right over here. Ah, I see. Okay, I think I got like some details wrong. So initially, Suzuha gave the IBN to him, and then after a while, the kidnapping happened, and somebody else bought the IBN from him, which allowed him to get the money for the ransom. And that somebody is this French businessman? I politely declined the offer. Wait, what do you mean you decline? There's no way the IBN will arrive from France in time. And I know we could afford to pay for it anyway. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are in France right now. Maybe they're still in Japan. Plus, there's a high possibility the buyer is related to CERN or to the Rounders. So they would have the IBN right now. Actually, that is a good point. They are French, so they may be connected to CERN, in which case, that would be no good. I clench my fist, then open it again. In which case... Fuck! If it's in the hands of CERN, that is bad. In which case... Why won't you return to me, IBN? It's well past midnight, and I'm still awake. My body hurts too much to sleep. And then there's the question eating at my mind. What should I do? How can I cancel the email that saved Farias' father? Well, I guess this must be like a dead end for the IBN in this roll line. Well, I don't think that we're going to be able to get it. If it's in CERN's hands, then there's not much we can do. And even if it's not in CERN's hand, it's just some random French guy from France, I think we're not going to have enough time to get it in this, no matter how much we jump back. I mean, we could try. Maybe if we go back like 48 hours into the past and then get in contact with this Frenchman, which they could be like a really rich person, and then send the IBN to Japan in like in like a day or so via plane, maybe. And then we would have the IBN and then problem solved. But otherwise, my encounter with the man himself has given birth to unnecessary internal conflict. I want to steal Faris' father away from her. I need to do it to save my Yuri. But does that give me the right to play God? Question of the century that we keep repeating over and over. By this point, I hear a knock, and then the door opens.
今日も
フェイリスか。まだ寝てなかったのか。
入っていい？
Normally Faris would have added Nya to the end of that question. Oh, you know that it's serious. Without waiting for my answer, Faris steps aside. Then she sits next to me on the bed. She's not wearing her cat ears.
さっきはありがとう。バイラル一味に追いかけられたとき、私、すごく怖かった。
Does she have a fever or something? Why would you ask this? She's been open to you and that's the first thing that you think of? Why is she talking normally? She usually pretends to be a cat girl. Does this mean she's not using her Faris persona right now? Clearly. Is this the real Akiha Rumiho? It's actually refreshing to hear Faris talk normally like this. It excites me for some reason. And she's showing me a side of herself that no one has ever seen.
初めてだったよ。大勢の人たちからあんな黒い感情をぶつけられたこと。
黒にやたらこだわる連中だったからな。
She slaps you on the knee lightly.
もう、真面目に話してるのに。
You jokester. What? Even her retort is normal. The person sitting in front of me isn't a cat-eared maid, and she isn't the Rainet champion. She's just a normal girl.
傷、痛む？
いや、大丈夫だ。
今日も、岡部さんがいなかったらどうなっていたか想像するだけでゾッとする。
言い直すな。いつも通りの呼び方でいい。
Faris sighs.
とにかく、京馬には感謝してもしきれない。本当にありがとう。京馬はね、私の王子様だよ。
Damn. Prince. What's with the fairy tale talk? Just giving me goosebumps. This calls for in Kyoma. Whenever you feel like super embarrassed when a girl is opening her heart to you.
俺は王子様ではない。狂気のマッドサイエンティストで。
Okay. Before I finish, Faiz throws herself on top of me. Alright, well, I guess I'll leave you two, like, all by yourselves in that case. I don't think you guys need me here. She wraps her arms around me tightly.
フェイリス。
ルミホって呼んでほしいな。
いや、フェイリスはフェイリスだろ。
This is bad. What should I do? Does Faiz want?
ねえ、もう終わりにしようと思うの。京馬はどうせ過去に戻ればまたやり直せるのに、私を命がけで助けてくれた。だから京馬の望むことを私も叶えてあげたいって思う。
That wish being?
だが。
I saw the rest of my words. I mean, not like her, not like him saving Faris was the main wish, but granting my wish would mean erasing her father's existence. I like to think that this is what this is where we're going. My heart aches. It was like this with Suzuha too. I erased everything that Suzuha had shared with us in 2010, including her memories of meeting her father. I did it for the sake of my personal goal, to save my Yuri. Must I once again sacrifice someone else's dream? Now, the thing about that, like, on one hand, us using, like, those emails, like, early on, did affected the other people's memories. Although, in a few of those cases, it was at the request of some people, like Lukako and Faris and Moeka and all that. But now, one of the main big differences this time around is that we are doing it without them knowing in Suzuha's case, and I don't know about Faris here yet. I don't think that she would really want this. But we won't have much of a choice. We have to play God, apparently, in this case, too.
あれは私の8歳の誕生日の時。
Still clinging to me, Faris looks down and begins her story.
私はパパにその日だけはお仕事をお休みして一緒に遊びに行こうってお願いしてたんだ。当時はまだパパの会社は大きくなくて、パパは毎日朝から晩までずっと働き続けてたから、私はちっともパパに会えなかったの。パパと過ごせる一日が私が一番欲しかったプレゼントだった。パパは約束してくれたよ。その日は何があってもきっと一緒に過ごそうって。でもやっぱり急な仕事の予定が入って前日になって約束は破られちゃったの。ひょっとしてパパは私のこと愛してくれてないんじゃないかってすごく不安になっちゃって。だからね、私誕生日当日に家出したの。パパに心配してもらいたくて。
And let me guess, it's in this exact same day that you got kidnapped, of all days. Faris pauses here for a time, and then she looks up at me and continues with tears in her eyes.
その日、パパの乗った飛行機が着陸に失敗したんだ。死者は一人だけで、他の乗客はみんな無事だったんだけどね。その一人がパパだった。
That was before the roll line changed.
信じられなかった。こんなにも世界は私に冷たい運命を押し付けるのかって。パパなんかもう知らない。死んじゃえばいいんだって。それがパパにかけた最後の言葉になっちゃった。そんな言葉で私とパパの関係は永遠に閉ざされちゃったんだ。
I can hear the tears in her voice.
大好きだったのに、どうして最後にあんなこと言っちゃったのかなってずっと心の中にパパへの罪悪感があって、ずっと思ってた。タイムマシンがあればいいのにって。
Then, did fate guide us to each other?
だからね、京馬がタイムマシンの話をしているときに、これは神様か仏様か運命様が私に与えてくれたチャンスなんだって思ったの。
フェイリス、ルミホ、今日はもう話さなくていい。
最後まで言わせて。